What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to the Crypto Catch Up. Of course, your number one place to catch up on crypto. Well, as you guys know, in the morning we like to make videos talking about Bitcoin and the broad market, and then later in the afternoon I like to give you a quick update and recap of what's going on in the altcoin market, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Of course, the altcoin market is popping off, things are getting a little bit crazy, and I want to tell you what all is going on. We got some meme coins carrying the wave right now. We got Peanut the Squirrel still absolutely flying, and I want to talk a little bit about that, what it could mean for the market, and much more. Now, I don't think this is going to be a super long altcoin update, but hopefully it's still packed with value. So if you do enjoy it, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to this brand new channel, and let's get into it. So looking at CoinMarketCap, what we can see here is that, yeah, it's been a quite interesting day. You know, a lot of your top 10 has been down to some degree, but we do still have our gainers, right? Bitcoin up down 2%, Ethereum down 1.7%, but then we got Solana, BNB, and Doge coming in as rather equal break-even days. XRP gaining momentum, Cardano down, Tron up, Shiba down, Triton up. These things are just kind of all over the place. That sounded like a Dr. Seuss poem. But at the end of the day, what you can kind of see is we are somewhat in popcorn season right now. We have things like Brett, XRP, Mog, Pepe, Not, XLM, and OM, and Cas all pumping. And you know, it's funny because you know you're in popcorn season, which I'll explain in a second here, when you see something like this. Like, what the hell is the correlation between Pepe, Brett, right? Those are rather similar, and XRP and Kaspa. Like, it's so weird in moments like this where you got Bitcoin going down, ETH going down, Pepe going up, XRP going up. Like, what in the world is going on right now? And that's called popcorn season. Now, popcorn season basically just comes down to this idea that sometimes we enter into these markets and these, you know, periods within the world of crypto in which certain random cryptos will just pop out of nowhere. So, you know, liquidity's flowing, everyone's excited, momentum is gaining, and then boom, piece of news, that one takes off. Then boom, piece of news, that one takes off. And then you're kind of in popcorn season because it's not particularly the whole market yet, but specific ones are moving at once. Now, in moments like this, what I would actually go ahead and say is that this is a rather risky time to be investing into altcoins because it's super easy to get emotional. You know, say, for example, 3 days ago, you're sitting there holding your bag of Brett, and freaking Doge is pumping, Shiba Inu's pumping, Pepe pumping, Bonk is pumping, and you're like, what the frick, Brett? This thing ain't doing nothing. So then you take that money out, and then you go put it in Doge, then Doge stops moving, and then Brett takes off, right? People lose so much money during popcorn season, it's disgusting. And the easiest way to avoid it is just to hold your bags close, dear, and tight. Don't get jealous. Don't get greedy. Don't pay too much attention to what other people's bags are doing. Just focus on your own ones, because there should be a point in time in which if you have like a good, strong foundation crypto, like a Bread or something, for example, it should have its popcorn moment to where it's the one that pops. Now, funnily enough, I actually did talk about this not too long ago over in the Patreon, guys. I had mentioned something about this. Yeah, we were talking about the fact that we were in popcorn season, and this was just yesterday. So don't forget, guys, if you do want to check out the Patreon, that is available down there for you. It's down below. You can join for as little as $1 a month if you just want to join the community and talk and ask questions and stuff, or $5 a month gets you access to my thoughts and insights like you just saw, daily fundamental analysis reports, daily technical analysis reports. I'm posting some crash courses for beginner investors and much more, so all that's available down there for you if you'd like it. But yeah, overall, we're in hardcore popcorn season right now, and again, you need to be very, very careful. Now, diving into the fundamentals a little bit, though, one thing we can see here is that the market's actually cooling down and healing a little bit. You know, you see all these cryptos in here that are red, and you're like, man, this isn't good. The market's pulling back. The bull market's over. Blah, blah, blah. The dumbest shit I've heard today, by the way. But what you have to recognize is that after you see like a month like this, where these things just absolutely gigasent, or a week like this, which freaking peanut, you know, a week like this, you're gonna need to see days like this and hours like this. You're gonna need to see these moments in which you're getting these cooldowns, because if not, it's truly, purely unsustainable. If crypto moves too far, too fast, it will crash and not move again for months. It's just what happens. We've seen it over and over and over again. So whenever you're going through this altcoin market, whenever we get moments like this where things are cooling down, you need to embrace it. It's a good thing. So right now we're looking at the crypto market RSI heat map. This basically just tells you the averages of all of the different relative strength indexes from your different top, 100 cryptos. Simply put, each one of these dots represents a crypto. Where they are on the spectrum indicates if they're overbought or oversold. That's all it is. And what you can see is that on the 4-hour time frames, and actually on the 12-hour time frames, a lot of your major altcoins are now pushing their way into this neutral zone. And what this means is that a lot of your major cryptos, whether it be, Aave, whether it be, let's see some other ones we recognize in here, Turbo, Meme, Gala, Myro, Cas is even in there, Ordi's in there, ACH, right? they're starting to just cool down a bit. Their indicators are resetting, and this is going to put them in a spot to where they enter into these nice little accumulation periods where it's not a bad time to go in and buy a little bit of that one crypto that you've been wanting, that pumped, and you were waiting for that pullback, right? A lot of your major cryptos are getting to that point. Now, your 24-hour one is still a little bit kind of scandalous, right? If you need to be a little bit careful. In the grand scheme of things, we are getting a little bit elevated, especially considering we're in extreme greed right now. You look at your crypto fan greed index, we're at an 88, so you definitely do need to be a little bit careful, especially if you're dabbling with the top ones, right? You look at Solana, ADA, with Bitcoin, all of these ones are extremely overbought, so you definitely do need to be pretty careful because a pullback wouldn't shock me, but it does seem like we haven't moved that liquidity from these top ones into these bottom ones quite yet. And so typically speaking, it means that a lot of these more smaller altcoins, your mid caps and stuff, are probably in a pretty decent time to be accumulating even still. I've told you all consistently that we are not in altcoin season. This is not a real altcoin season. And even if you do look at something like your Bitcoin dominance, it just goes to show Bitcoin is still steadily in control. We're clearly in Bitcoin season. And as a result of that, I still think that some of these altcoins are still in a good spot to buy, right? Any of your favorite altcoins that haven't really moved quite yet, but they're good, like they're strong, they got good foundations, and you look at their RSI on average and it's still around that neutral zone, it means they haven't had their moment. The liquidity hasn't hit them yet. But trust me, a rising tide lifts all boats. Eventually, the more liquidity that keeps funneling into this market, it's going to channel down into these altcoins, and then we're going to start seeing them move. So maybe start looking at some of your altcoins right now while we are seeing the top ones pumping. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, looking at some of them specifically, I mean, we can see that this market has been moving crazy today. You know, you look at your SUIs, for example, what you'll come to notice across the vast majority of your cryptos is a lot of them are at major resistance points and they're just slowing down, right? So SUI, for example, hit a major 1.272 fib extension zone, pausing right now. Solana trying to hold some support on top of this macro point of resistance. Shiba Inu, for example, building up some support within this descending channel right here. Doge, for example, in this little 4-hour time frame, let's go look, you can see this, in this little bull flag or something along those lines. Render, very similar story. Ethereum, very similar story in a little descending structure. So a lot of this market is just cooling down right now, and that's totally okay. I would actually say it's probably a good time to start adding a little tiny bit into those altcoins, because sure, they may continue downwards and this market might cool off for a little while, but the likelihood is that we will see them all start jumping back off again soon, and there will be some gains to be made from where a lot of them are right now. Now, don't forget, guys, if you do want to trade a little bit of crypto yourself on up to 500x leverage, even though I don't recommend 500x leverage, you can check out that BTCC link down below. You won't need to KYC when you do sign up, meaning you don't need to give them your personal information, but you can, of course, start signing up and trading without needing to KYC, and you're going to get a 10% deposit bonus on all deposits above $500. Guys, this means if you deposit $4,000, hypothetically, they're going to give you $400 to trade with, and say you turn that into $900, guys, that $500 in profit, that's all you. That's yours. You can withdraw it, use it, do whatever you want with it. They're literally allowing you to make free gains on the house. It's ridiculous. One of the best deals I've ever put together, all because of this partnership that I got with them. So make sure to go check that out down below. It also does come with other things like up to 10K in bonuses per user and an SVIP1 code to get 40% lower trading fees. So go take advantage of that, of course, again, down below. Now, overall, my general thoughts and thesis on this crypto market right now is that things are crazy, but they are cooling down and they're healing. We are in popcorn season, so you are going to see, again, some of your ones popping off right now, but a lot of them are somewhat, cooling down and going into a better spot, especially in terms of the indicators. We, of course, did get some news yesterday, so, just kind of transitioning to the news portion here. We did get some news yesterday, of course, that impacted Solana, Pepe, ADA, XRP, that they were getting relisted on Robinhood. So that does have a lot to do with the fact that we are seeing some of them pump, in my opinion. Like, we're seeing Pepe pump, XRP pump, Solana did well today, etc. And so that is some pretty big pieces of news. But outside of that, not really a ton of altcoin news over the last 24 hours to justify, a lot of these major pumps. One thing that you guys have been asking about a ton has been this Peanut the Squirrel token. And dude, this thing has been absolutely popping off. Currently sitting at a $1.78 billion market cap, fully diluted value at $1.71 billion. You can look at the overall time performance, absolutely smashed it. And you guys have been asking me my opinion about it. And look, my honest opinion is that it is a bit of a temporary meme coin. It feels like to me, right? It's built, it doesn't have to be, right? But a lot of your meme coins that do perform well over an extended period of time aren't usually based off of more of like a scenario. Like the Peanut the Squirrel tragedy is really what it is at the end of the freaking day, was an event in time that will sadly eventually end up behind us, that people are kind of going to forget about. And so this hopefully could be a way to keep reminding people and kind of memorialize Peanut, but I do have my doubts and my worries about if it can maintain momentum like something like a Shiba Inu or a Doge that aren't involved with a particular event per se, if that makes any sense. So I'm not 1,000,000% sure how I feel about it. I mean, I'm so happy for anybody who got in on this bad boy and has had some absolutely beautiful gains, and I hope it does continue. I mean, I wouldn't say that 3 or 4 billion is out the picture because we've seen a ton of meme coins hit 3 or 4 billion recently. My hope is that we start to see some of this liquidity from Peanut the Squirrel flow into more of the Solana ecosystem, and we can really start to see meme coins gaining some traction soon, because our microcaps have been rather boring the last few days. So, or last few weeks, last few months realistically. So I am hoping this is the beginning of a liquidity cycle for the Solana ecosystem. But for Peanut the Squirrel itself, I don't own any. Maybe I'll just buy a little bit to memorialize Peanut. Shout out to Peanut, obviously. That was some bullshit that would happen. But at the end of the day, in terms of an actual token itself, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. You guys let me know in the comments. Is this something you've invested into? Is there something I'm missing? Is there like a super big bullish conviction thesis or something like that out there? Or is it kind of just what I'm thinking? Let me know down in the comments below. But overall, altcoin market looking pretty damn good, resetting very well, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. So of course, I hope you guys did enjoy tonight's quick update. If you guys did, don't forget there's a couple things you can do. Feel free to go down there and check out my Patreon. You can join our private community for as little as $1 a month. And if you of course do want to start trading some cryptos yourself, you can use that BTCC link down below to get up to 10% back on your bonuses, or on your deposit, sorry. And so with that said, of course, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you in the morning with a Bitcoin and broad market update. Peace out, everybody.